we first came here to do a study on this building and the arts in the beginning of '09. And I had never been in this building before. And first of all, it's a building by Trost and Trost, which were one of the finest architects in not only Texas, but the whole Southwest, and did several theaters. And this was an unknown theater that they had done. In researching the building, I actually found that this was not listed on their buildings that they did. And there's a group in El Paso where Trost and Trost was founded. And I sent some emails back and forth, and they were just totally shocked that this existed. They didn't have drawings of it, they didn't have anything of it, but they were just so surprised and so pleased that we got in contact with them. They don't even have photographs of it. So for me, it was very much like a lot of people come in, and this was intended to be a place of escape and a place where people came to experience the arts and to escape from everyday life. And it needed to look like it was ancient and sturdy, and that's what it does. Essentially, everything we're looking at in here is a stage set. It's all fake plaster and moldings, and it's all meant to look like stone, but it's not real stone. And so for us, I've been involved in a lot of theaters. For me, it's just when you see something like this for the first time, it's always a wow factor. You go, wow, how did they do that? And then you get involved in it, and you're up close looking at something, and you go, the craftsmanship that was involved and things like that. So I think mine is like about the same as some 10-year-old kid walking into here going, wow, this is neat, you know, because I know what this has done for this community over the years. It's been a huge asset to San Angelo.
This is such a legendary building. This is such a part of San Angelo. It's always been a part of San Angelo. This is such a heritage building, you know. I know I'm with Foster Communications, as you know, and we had our studios next to this building for a long, long time when we were located on City Hall Plaza. So City Hall and this auditorium is very dear to my heart too, because when I moved to San Angelo, this was where I spent my time, was in this area. So and I say that to emphasize how much heritage there is to the people of San Angelo, how much heritage this building offers the people of San Angelo, because they remember this building. Elta Joyce McAfee, that we just announced that she gave the $3 million to get this project started and going and up and running. The reason she did it was because she remembers as a child her mother bringing her here to see performances, to see concerts with the symphony concerts and what have you. So that's why it was such so important that this was the anchor building in this whole performing arts center.
Going with my mother to the symphonies. And that was when Dr. Sorrentine, Eric Sorrentine, was here. But along with that, I was so young that I was taking tap and ballet from Mrs. Doherty, and we would have our recitals here. And then go along a little bit further and coming here to see the Clare Tree Major plays and other senior plays, other things that would go on within the school system that had to take place here. And then I had the lead in the senior play, and I just nearly fainted before the curtain opened, but anyway, I did enjoy being on stage. And then I walked across and got my diploma from San Angelo High School. So it has, I have a fondness for this auditorium, but mainly just being here and seeing the people and seeing the different age groups that like to come to our symphony.
This has always been like the flagship. It's not a coliseum, you know, but it's the next biggest piece of entertainment architecture that the city owns. And by itself, the city still is missing things. This building, coupled with the new expansion taking place with the arts and the new venues, the new rehearsal halls, those kind of things, suddenly this fits into a piece, and this becomes the keystone to the arch. This building is very much the right size for this community to bring in performers and art that would have never considered San Angelo before because of the elements we're putting in it to make it more modern, easier to use, and a better experience for the patrons that come here. All of those are going to expand the arts in this community, and I've seen it happen over and over again as we've done these theaters in the last 35 years, that the arts grow to fill the spaces that can provide a presentation space for the arts, whether it's showing visual arts in the lobby, a lecture, you could have a movie here. There's so many things you can do here that are not just stage performances. So you may find that this building might be used, I don't know, 200 times a year, 300 times a year, not even for weddings and stuff that we can't even imagine right now.
It was always a centerpiece of the city when it came to entertainment. This was the grand hall. If you performed in the city auditorium, it was an important concert, or it was an important program that you were attending. That's my that's my thoughts on it. That's my recollection. That's why I think it's so important.
I wanted this building to get back to its former beauty and bring in those road shows and things that would come that I hear they couldn't come because the stage wasn't right, or the backstage there wasn't enough room for whatever equipment they needed. So I want to see some of the things that go in other cities if we can get them here. Well, I want to see entertainment come here because I think it's fun to have something to do and some place to go, and I think young people like it. And I think that young people say, well, let's go to the play, let's have a date, let's go to the play, or let's go to the orchestra to see the symphony or whatever. And I just want it for our community.
All of these wonderful historic seats that I'm sitting in right now, these are going to be restored, and they're going to be automatic, hinged so that they pop up for safety reasons. New upholstery and everything. Wood is going to be refinished. So all of this is going to happen. So when you walk in, you'll see the same walls, you'll see the same seats. The floor will be all fresh, new carpet here. This is going to lend itself to more comfort for the patrons in here. The balcony, you're still going to have a balcony here, but the balcony is not going to look like the balcony looks now. The balcony is going to have a new rake, a new steepness to it, and it's going to have deeper terraces for the seats to sit on. So we're going to have more comfortable seats in the balcony. We're going to have better fire exiting from the balcony. And then under the balcony, between the orchestra level and the balcony, we're going to have all new toilets in there. And they're all going to be acoustically separated from the theater, so noises from the toilets don't get into the theater space. So in terms of what the public sees, it'll be very fresh, it'll smell cleaner, the air conditioning and heating is going to be better. We're going to be in a position that the comfort level of the patrons is going to far exceed what they're used to. And that means that their enjoyment of the performance is going to be better. Every theater should be updated every 20 to 25 years. This building's never been updated. So we've got 90 years roughly of age on everything. There was work done in the 70s, but what we're going to do is to totally rebirth the stage to be a modern, full-functioning stage, and we're adding an addition to the back. It wraps around the stage, and it's going to be the support areas for the stage. We're going to have dressing rooms back there, a loading dock, a place to repair sets. We're going to have a small office. We're going to have a place for the orchestra to warm up before they play. We're going to have a lot of things back there, including new air conditioning and heating for the whole stage and the annex. So this building is not, most people think it's about coming and enjoying the performance, and they don't understand the people behind the curtain are working very hard to give them a performance that looks like it's flawless and is very easy. And our job is to do, in this remodeling, create a backstage that makes it as easy for the production folks to present to the public as it is for the public to enjoy the performance. San Angelo is right between Houston, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, El Paso, Colorado, Kansas. It's on a crossroads here, and performers are not performers, but the presenters of these shows are going to be looking at a place on their way to or from to pull into this community. The symphony may do more presentations because they're going to be able to move in here and have a better presentation here quicker than what they could before, because everything that they used to do by hand is going to be electrified, or it's going to be easier to do from, the stage left new rigging system or something like that. So if, for instance, you have an orchestra shell that flies out and it's fully suspended and it's sitting there waiting and it's already electrified and it's ready to go, you bring it in, you twist it over, you raise it up, you set it up, and in a matter of 30 minutes to an hour, you're fully ready for the symphony to come in and practice. Those kind of things were impossible before. So for our purpose, our job is to make it so that performers love coming here, presenters love coming here.
The project was not a hard sell. And that's because there are so many people in San Angelo willing to step up. I mean, we just saw it with Elta Joyce McAfee and SAPAC with so many people who believe in the arts. San Angelo's always amazed me. I moved here in 1971, and they do it very quietly, but this community is so into the arts. And I mean, how many cities of this size do you see that has a ballet? I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing how cultural San Angelo really is.
Because Fred Key called me, Susan Brooks took me to lunch, and that's the way they paved the road to getting the money, I guess. But anyway, I just couldn't turn them down. I like them, and I like the project. And of course, we were talking about the naming rights. I didn't think of that as much as I knew that it was available, and I thought, well, I wouldn't mind having it be the Murphy Auditorium. And have it named after my family. And so I just decided I wanted to do it. I wanted to include my heritage, my mother and father that were ranchers at Barnhart and Mertzen and Reagan County, Upton County, and all around in there. And through the trust that Mother and Dad left me, it has grown, and I wanted them to be a part of it, and I just wanted to, I just wanted that Murphy name.
The reason we're so appreciative of Elta Joyce is because I will say personally, I wanted a legacy family name, a heritage family, a pioneer family from West Texas name on this auditorium, and that's what we're going to have. And she chose to go with her maiden name of Murphy because as she told me, that it was her parents' ranch. That's where the money came from, and she wants them honored. So no, it was huge. It was absolutely huge. It actually was the key that we knew. When she agreed to do that, this project was going to go forth, and we were going to build a performing arts center, and we were going to redo the auditorium. The Downtown Association here has done a fantastic job downtown, and I don't think anybody can drive down here, particularly on a Thursday night or a Friday night, and not see what's happening down here as far as entertainment and the clubs. The retail business downtown has grown. The restaurant business has grown, and they've done such a good job down on Concho, Toohey, into that area. This is going to expand the entire downtown to the north, to the north side of downtown. And after this is done, we're going to have a downtown that a lot of cities in Texas are going to envy.
Just oh, it's beautiful. Oh, I'm so glad this is all done, and I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I got to be here to see it and be one of the first people in the auditorium. So I hope other people feel that same way and mark their calendars to come and push everything else aside because they want to be at the opening.
Oh, my reaction will be that I'm home. that the symphony, it'll probably be at a symphony performance, and it'll mean I'm home. You know, that I'm coming to watch the symphony, and this is where it should be, because this is where it's always been. They've done the symphony has done such a magnificent job over the last 3 years of having to go to other venues and things, and they've held it together. But it'll be that I've come home, like I said.
Boy, it smells better in here. And wow, and then when the performance comes on, wow. So I look around and you have the wow factor already here. It's just hidden under a lot of dirt. So it's bringing back the wow factor and letting people come in and sit down and enjoy a performance that there's no other place in this region they can do that. I mean, are you really going to drive 3.5 hours to San Antonio to see a performance? Some people do. They make an evening or a weekend out of it. But wouldn't it be great to just take your kids and come down and see a performance right here and enjoy it, and then have dinner here and then go back home, or have dinner and go to the show and with your wife and have an enjoyable evening here instead of spending a bunch of time on the road? People want to have good access to the arts where their whole family can enjoy it, and in a way that doesn't cost so much. And this is going to be able to bring in performances of all different categories, all different price ranges, and at different times of the year. And it would be my hope that 200 to 250 days a year there are people in here, and you'll hear this thing filled up with applause.